Hello and welcome to Fireworks, your most sought after program. I am Bukola Samuel Adejare. Nigerian legislators are perhaps the most popular in the world, and for obvious reasons. Today we take a peek into the House of Representatives through the eyes of one of Nigeria's lawmakers in the person of Honorable Dr. Babatunde Samuel Adejare. Let's take a short break during which we'll take a peep into his bio and we'll be right back. Stay with Fireworks. Thank you for staying tuned to Fireworks. Thank you for your time on the program, sir.
Thank you, madam.
Now, Honorable, some observers at the National Assembly say you are an armchair legislator, that you've made very little meaningful contribution in the last 4 years that you've been at the House of Representatives. How true is this?
That is very, very wrong. It's very, very wrong. Apart that I'm a member of that house, I'm also the caucus leader of the Lagos caucus in the House. And with all due respect to everybody, and I think I have raised one of the most controversial motion on that floor, the one that has to do with the private jet issue of the Honorable Minister of Petroleum. And that was moved by me.
Everybody knows you raised the motion for the probe of Honorable, for Minister, rather, Madueke, but
yes,
you've been there for 4 years.
Yes.
What other meaningful contributions, what bills have you proposed that would have impacted positively on the lives of your constituents?
Before I go on, I want to tell you this. If you look at our statute books, we have a lot of laws in there that we're not even actualizing, that we're not practicing. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm one of those honorable members. One of the first few motions I raised on the floor of the House is that we should set up a sort of committee that will evaluate our laws and make sure we do away with some of them that we don't need. And where we need to brush them up, we brush them up. And the House has set up a committee to do that, and they are still at it. And apart from that, I have particularly this bill on mental health care in Nigeria. I brought that bill onto the floor of the House, and it has passed the committee stage. I think we are going for the third reading any time from now.
And that you're the leader of the Lagos caucus in the House of Representatives.
Yes.
I know that public officials in Lagos are always clamoring for a special status for Lagos because of the huge revenue that it generates for the federal structure. Are you doing anything as the leader of the Lagos caucus in the House as regards that?
There was a position paper by Lagos State Government that all of us that are legislators from Lagos, the senators representing us, and all the honorable members that were pursuing in the House. It's a constitutional thing, and we have put it in during the constitutional review processes, which we have just sent to the House of Assemblies to ratify. There are some we were able to put in, there are some that we were not able to put in. So we will still continue to try until we get to where we want, to the point we want Lagos to be.
Now, how far-reaching are some of these good gestures that you extend to your people in the light of the fact that as a lawmaker, you're entitled to nearly 500,000 naira in constituency allowance per month? That multiplied by 12 results in a very good amount. So how far-reaching? Indeed, Nigerians believe that lawmakers should do more than this one-off gestures.
500,000 naira per month? You are just telling me.
I'm just telling you.
You're just telling me.
It's public knowledge.
It's public knowledge?
Yes.
500,000? See, look, what I know.
Okay, tell us. what are you entitled to per month as a Nigerian legislator as constituency allowance?
Constituency allowance? The last time I checked my papers, it was about 60,000 naira per month. 500,000, I don't believe in that. I don't think that is possible. 500,000 naira. It's 60,000 naira for my constituency allowance. And constituency allowance is to maintain my constituency offices. What? That
is that figure one which you would rather have the public know about?
No, because, that is the true figure.
Because less than 2 years ago, when civil society organizations began to clamor for transparency in the remuneration of public officers, a lawmaker made public his pay slip, and it was discovered that indeed constituency allowance for a lawmaker runs into that amount.
That, my own pay slip, if I give you my pay slip, it's about 750,000 naira a month as salary. The allowances, they are retired by my office there, and it is not part of my wages. The allowances to maintain what they are supposed to be maintain, and that they are not meant for me. They are not meant for me.
So, how much do you earn as a lawmaker per month? Everything inclusive, besides your basic of 750,000 naira that you talk about.
I don't earn more than that as salary. I don't earn more than that. Those allowances, you cannot count it to be my own salary. It is not my salary. They are vote heads shall to be retired for what they are meant for. If they have given me money for my travels, to maintain my office, to entertain visitors that come to me, they retire them like that. We have, my secretaries will do all those things and give, at the end of the month we retire them, or quarterly we retire them. And that is what we do. They are not my wages. That is not my own salary. You understand? It's like you. Like I would like to tell people, I said, look, you want me to oversight a permanent secretary or a minister. There are a running cost of going into several hundreds of millions. And you are saying my own running cost will be peanuts. That will not go well for our system. It will not go well for our system.
So where do you get the money for all the constituency projects that you embark upon? Is it from your basic salary as well?
Some of them, you put them in the budget. You put them in the federal budget. Some of them, you put them in the federal budget, and most of them, that is where they come from. That is where they come from. Yeah, I'm not a magician.
So when you put them in the federal budget,
yes,
how much do they amount to on a regular basis? If they come quarterly, if they come monthly, if they come yearly, how much do they amount to?
Let me put this straight. When we put them in the budget, I don't even know the contractor they are going to give them to. I don't want to know. All I care for is to make sure they do the job.
Now, some say that you've begun to come home more frequently. You have been in Abuja. You had been in Abuja stationary in the last 4 years, but you've begun to come home more frequently. Are you seeking votes? Do you want to be re-elected?
Let me start from here. I've always been coming home. And but I want people to know that being a legislator is not an easy job. You've got to read. You've got to go around the country. Nigeria is a big country. Like I am the subcommittee chairman for Health Committee of the Federal East, the Eastern Southeast. When I go on oversight, I spend weeks there. You look at all these things because that is what is being voted to do. And that is not the only committee I am in. I'm in foreign affairs. There was a time I was on tour of the west coast of Africa. Went to all our embassies there to see things firsthand, to see whether they are really applying these monies. We are voting for these issues on what they are supposed to apply them. And it has educated me as a legislator. Now, in that house, if by the grace of God my people says I should go back, which I'm praying to God that
your people say you should go back or you want to return.
I want to return.
Why do you want
back
to return?
by my people. Because I have just spent one time in there. There are a lot of things we have started that in the space of one time you cannot finish. That if I have given good, qualitative, reasonable, responsible representation to my people, why should I not be given this next time, the second time? You understand? We want to go there to really still continue to represent our people very well.
You're not going back to enrich yourself the more?
Enrich myself the more. As a legislator, I am being paid for what I'm doing for my country. It's part. If it had been that we are part-time legislators, it will have been something else. But because I'm full-time, and I've been asked before I went into office to resign from my job, I need to be well remunerated. And this country is doing that. It's not about enrichment. Why? It is my salary. Anything apart from my salary, no.
Dr. Adejare, please tell us, which state are you from?
I am indigenously from Ogun State, where I represent Adejare.
How come an Ogun State indigene is a lawmaker representing a Lagos constituency?
Lagos is a very cosmopolitan state. I have lived all my life here. In fact, I don't think in the last 20-something years I have slept in my village for one night, except of recent that I buried my father. That's the only time I can remember I slept there for a few days. I've always spent my life. I went to St. Paul Primary School in the Butemeta.
So what are your thoughts on the indigenship condition placed on lawmakers who must represent a constituency?
The Constitution says.
Especially which is affecting the governorship seat in your own party now.
Which governorship seat in my party? Which one? Which one?
Are you claiming ignorance of it?
If you educate me, I'll be very happy.
If I educate you, or
yes,
you are in denial of what is being said about a particular aspirant who is said to be originally an indigene of Ogun State, and he wants to run the race of the seat in Lagos State.
What does the Constitution say about the indigenship?
You tell us.
It's in there. If you have lived in a place for 7 years, you might not be an indigene of the place because that is by birth. But you are a citizen of that place. You can represent the place, for God's sake.
You're watching Fireworks, and I have with me Honorable Dr. Samuel Adejare, a lawmaker of the House of Representatives. Stay with Fireworks. We'll be right back.